What's going on, guys? This morning we are working on a MITSUBISHI. So been waiting on a board for this one. It was a control board fault failure in this system, and didn't take as long to get the board, about 3 weeks. Thought it would take a little longer. I guess they're getting the boats moving through the ocean a little quicker than they used to during the pandemic, or since it. But anyway, kind of a, one of those places. We're under the deck. This unit, he uses it for he's got his garage set up as a little workshop, and although it looks like lack of organization, there's a Linux sitting right there, and he's a Milwaukee guy. So anyway, we're gonna get this going, start getting this thing apart. And I figured while I was doing this, I'd do a quick, maybe little video as far as my background goes. I've been doing this for about 20 years now, and I didn't start till I was 31 years old. Prior to that, it was military. I did go to college 2 years for civil engineering. When I got out of high school, somehow ended up in the military for 7 years. Got out of the military and got a job with a survey company while I went to school for law enforcement training. Spent about 5 years as a deputy sheriff, and then just really didn't like that. I mean, it was okay. The pay was not as good then as it is. It's gotten better, but the politics involved in that, and then the type of people you deal with on a regular basis, not the greatest. So pull this disconnect out. So after that, I decided to go to school for heating and air at night. My first job was with a new construction type heating and air company, and they were a Goodman dealer that basically just did work for builders. Only a few technicians, and the reason we were there was to handle that first year warranty, and then after that they pretty much didn't want to deal with you anymore. We were doing work anywhere from North Myrtle Beach, the builders were putting houses down there, to Conway, North Myrtle Beach, all the way up to Wilmington, Jacksonville, North Carolina. And that, wait for this thing to discharge, that driving, it just kind of took a toll. So I went from there to a larger big box national company. I think you saw that video I posted about my opinion on that. I did that for about 5 years, and it was all sell, and they worked you like a dog. I mean, when you were on call, you were out till midnight, and that's coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning. You were still out till midnight. So anyway, I got tired of that, got tired of the sales pressure, and that's how I ended up where I am now. Most of you probably know where that is, but anyway, when I started there, this company's only been in business for about 16 years now, 16 and a half. There was 3 guys, a father, a son, and another friend of the family that worked together at another location. They were service managers. Decided to start their own company in 2000, right at the end of 2007. I came on board in 2011, was the second technician. When I got here, 2 of the owners were still in vans running service calls, so I replaced one of them in the field, and it just started to grow from there. I interviewed on the back porch, of all places, of the house they were working out of in the building. A few years after that, we moved into a smaller shop with some warehouse space. After that, we moved into the location we're in now, which is a lot bigger than where we were, and we've outgrown that pretty much. The commercial department has really bloomed and just exploded. But I mean, we went from basically the 2 technicians. Now we're approaching 15. We kind of stay at that 13, 14 range right now. I was moved up into a supervisor role in 2015, early 16. Been doing that ever since. Once we got above 10 technicians, we moved one of the other guys into a supervisor role. He came from another company when he was hired, and he had pretty good experience at that point in time. He was a service tech for us for about 3 years or so, and then we moved him up. So it's me and another guy supervising about a 15-man service department. And like I said, the company has exploded. We do a lot of volume with Train. I've been a Train dealer since I've been here, and we have a very good relationship with them. But it's a great place to work. 2 company parties every year. We get bonuses. They'll bend over backwards to help you with time off, things like that. Even money wise, if you get into a bind, they help you. They'll help you out. Retirement, 401k, insurance. They cover about 60%, 60 to 70% of what your insurance coverages are. They pay well. Buy you tools if you need them. Replace them if they break. Replace it. And keep you running. A lot of good benefits. And there's no Mr. this or Mr. that. Everybody's on a first name basis. Everybody comes to work dressed to work, t-shirts, jeans. Even in the office, the guys in there, even the owners, they're ready to crawl into our house and get into an attic if they have to. There's no suit and ties. It's kind of it's a real true blue collar, family owned business. And so if you're lucky enough to find a place like that, find it. Makes a big difference when you're having a bad day. If you're having a bad day somewhere you're not happy, and a bad day somewhere you are happy, makes a big difference. So anyway, just thought I'd put my background out there a little bit. But got to get this board changed out of this thing, so I'm gonna get it torn down real quick, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. And plus I've got another technician calling me from some assistance right now, so let me call him back and I'll get back on here. Alright, I'm back. I had one of my guys calling me about a X13 motor he was dealing with it. It's under warranty. He wasn't sure if it was under warranty or not. It was pretty much the question. And we just call the parts house. They'll let you know. But if we install it, it'll be registered and have a 10-year warranty on it. But this is a Mitsubishi. I got to get this board control out. It was having faults on it. He had an electrical power surge on the house, and it just constantly was telling you control failure. And I'm not a mini split guru by any means whatsoever. I really don't like them, but they're kind of like the Train XV when it came out. It's you get your hands on it enough, you eventually finally get comfortable with working on these things. I just wish they would make this front panel where it would come off and get out of your way. So prop something in there to hold it. But anyway, first thing I want to do is take a picture of this board, and I want to make sure I get all the wires plugged back in the proper location. That should be good enough. And at least in this one, they've got the thing mounted where you can actually pop the top and look at it and check lights. You get some of these units, you open them up and the board's upside down, and you're trying to find a little place where you can peek in and see a light flashing. And some of them, they actually are faced up and flat with a cover on them. But you get to those ones where the board's upside down. I think the Trains, when the Train had their name on the thing, they were doing that. I'm not sure. We didn't put a lot of those in. We do put in some mini splits, but around here they're not as popular as they are in other places. But anyway, so I've got the disconnect out on this thing. This board's discharged, so let's start getting it out of here. which I don't know that you guys want to watch all that either. I tell you what, they sure are good about plugging wires on these things to where they don't come off, because they are on there tight. But you gotta, yeah, love it. That's the easiest one that came off. Sometimes these clips have a little, well, I guess not. Sometimes they'll have a little loop over clip that locks it in so it doesn't come off. But they didn't do that on this one, I guess. And of course, when you have a plug head, typically everywhere it goes back to is going to be labeled in some form or fashion, or the plug's only going to fit in one location. So we'll get these off. I'm going to assume these are, yeah, these are coming from our compressor. Damn, they were on there pretty damn snug. So it looks like this is going to be a fight to the finish, getting all these things off. And I may edit some of this out, I don't know. Watching somebody unplug wires is not always the most entertaining part, but at least it gives you a little idea of what you might see from time to time. How tight these things, it's almost like they crimp the terminal on the wire and then crimp the fitting to the board or something, I don't know. But you don't have a lot of room. Let me get in here and see if I can, there we go. Damn. Get this one off. And there. All right. And you got all these little wires back here. Hopefully I'll remember where all these go. I mean, like I said, these wires only plug back up to one place, so it's kind of a, yeah, I did take the photo, but this one, for whatever reason, doesn't want to come off. So is there a little, I may work on that one once I get the board loose and I can get it turned to an angle. There's a little clip back there, but this plastic trim around the outside of it is right against it, and I can't get my thumb back down in there to get hold of it. So we'll just get the control out and maybe that'll fix it. But all the wires are either zip tied or, yeah. They didn't use a loop for that one, they just stuck a zip tie in there, so I guess I'll cut that and put another one on it. Maybe the new board, I haven't taken it out of the box yet. We'll have that fastener on there where I can re-zip tie it and get it back the way it was. Two wires back here. So let me finish getting these wires undone, get this thing out, and then we'll get the other one in. Alright, so I've got the old board out. That was a nightmare. They put those wires on there tight, trying to get those things off. And that, I mean, they need to be snug. I get that. But I mean, in a situation like this, you're pulling, you're jerking. What if you pull too hard, you jerk, you hit something, you break something? You know, I do not understand. I mean, it's nice for them to be better tight than loose, I guess. But like I said, these mini splits are not my cup of tea, but they're like anything else, you work on them. And then usually it's most of the time it's either the board, these things leaking, which Looks like he's already dealt with that one time in the past. Like somebody's tried to gob some stuff on it. I mean, we installed this unit. I don't know if we did that. Maybe it's some leak locker or some kind of leak something. But you know, the fittings, you have to reflare them and all that if you get a leak there. We have a kit for that with the torque and all that, and it, you know, we've had success with that. But usually these things, most of the time, there's no refrigerant in it. These things are leaking. You've got a board problem. One of your temperature sensors, your valve sensors down here is out of range, or the stepper motor and the air handler is skipping, and the vane, directional vane for the airflow is sitting there popping as it spins around. We've had a couple of coil leaks on these, but for the most part it's usually just always a sensor. Luckily, and you do it enough, you figure it out. Problem is getting support on these things, calling somebody. I know what's his name, Ralph, I think he works with Mitsubishi now down in Georgia or somewhere. He was a tech support guy. I try not to call tech support for these because I want to kind of tough it out. If I struggle, I will. You gotta, most of the time, you gotta Google the books and get online and find the manuals, because they're not available. They're not with the equipment, and the ones that do come with the equipment don't really provide a whole lot. So you got to search, find all your fault codes and things like that. And then once you kind of get that, then you can start going in the right direction. It's just, they're just a little bit of a headache. One I could, for the most part, do without, but they're here and they have to be worked on. So try to do that the best we can. I try to do it the best I can. So if I never saw one of these things again the rest of my life, I'd probably be a happy camper. So let me get the photograph and figure out where the rest of these wires are that get plugged in here. I think I just found two of them that I wasn't sure about. I forgot I had put them over the back there, and yeah, this did not come with the zip tie that holds that, but I think once you get the top back on here, that's going to stay in place. It's not going to go anywhere. God forbid I have to take it off again. But anyway, I'm going to get all this plugged back up, and then we're going to get this thing turned on and see how she does. But see you in a minute. So we go through all the trouble getting that board in, and last time we were here we checked all that. I think somebody actually did call tech support, all the faults, the flow charts, check this, yes, no, go here, go there. They all came back to replace inverter PC board, and it had a fried spot on it. He had some kind of power surge or whatever. So we get this in. If you remember, when I was taking the wires off, that one little plug, that little red one, it was giving me a fit. It wouldn't slide out just like all the other ones did. I'm talking about getting your finger back there to try to get it. I was going to wait till I got the board loose and around where I could get it. That thing was in. I finally got it off. Got everything up and running. Shuts down. Outdoor thermistor failure. So that was the plug for the damn outdoor temperature thermistor. So it ohms out fine. When you go through the flow chart, check this, yes, 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 no, go here and go there. The ohm chart reading the, I think it was like 3 degrees different than what the outdoor temperature was. It's a little warmer out there. This thing's under a deck. So I don't know, trying to get it off, one of the final option was bad connection, get new thermistor, maybe something, maybe in the plug, the wire in there where it was is loose or bent or something, and when it goes on, it's not touching, making a good connection. I don't know. But if you ohm it out through the back of the wires going back to the thermistor, boom, it reads the right outdoor temperature. So if I didn't tell you already, I don't like mini splits. Could do without them. But that goes back to being happy where you work at. Hey, you have good days, you have bad days, and yeah, at least when you get in your truck and leave, things get better. But I despise a mini split. I really do. But I'll work on them. It just is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, and looks like I was a victim of a clone attack last night by somebody after a live stream Went off the air, still chatting. Somebody got my channel name and my little emoji, or whatever you want to call it, and not emoji, Jesus Christ, what's the name of it? Avatar. Yeah, there you go. Your little round picture. Somebody made some comments that I wasn't making, so I'm going, now I know that stuff goes on YouTube. So it's a learning experience. I mean, it's kind of like heating and air. I've only been doing that YouTube stuff for a couple of months now, and prior to that, I was just getting in there shooting, making comments that weren't all great. I think we've all agreed upon that, being a little overcritical. Apologies again for that to those involved. But anyway, look out for that in the future. Anyway, guys, enjoy it. It's Friday. It's the weekend. This has been an eventful week. So enjoy your weekends. Like, subscribe. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate the ones that hang in there. And once again, apologies. Ted, Curtis, Zach in Tennessee. You learn from your experiences. So let's move forward. I appreciate you at least hearing me out. So anyway, you guys have a good weekend, and we'll do it again next week.